Hi everybody, it's Lori from Close to My Heart and Pink Cloud Scrappers, and welcome to my first video. Today for our first little card, we are actually going to make this cute card that is using one of the new stamp sets from Close to My Heart's idea book, and it is the childhood portrait, and I just love it. I think it's really cute. And we're also going to do a couple other techniques, some random stamping and some dry embossing, just some basic things to kind of get you going. So let's go ahead and get started. And we are going to use just a base colonial white cardstock. We now have these available in bulk. You can get 50 of them with 50 envelopes for $14.95, which is kind of nice because we've had the daisy white, but we haven't had the colonial white, which I love off-white. I'm an off-white kind of girl, so that works out well for me. So that's what we're going to be using today. And the first thing we're going to do, this is our stamp set from Close to My Heart. I just adore this set. It is so cute. It reminds me a lot of the Cricut A Child's Year, so they would really go well together. But these are all the cute stamps, as you can see, with all the silhouettes. And the ones we're going to be using today are the friendship and then the little boy with the yo-yo. And I just think these are adorable. So, first thing, we're just going to take our acrylic block, pop our stamp on there like we do, and the two colors that I'm using is Twilight and Chocolate. And so these are our ink pads. If you've never seen them, they're really nice. They just open and twist back on themselves when you're ready to use them. I'll show you another little technique with them in just a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and open both of these up to do the random stamping. And first I'm going to stamp on my scratch piece of paper, and then I'm going to stamp on my card. And basically all I'm doing is, I just don't want the color quite so bold on it. I want it to be a little bit faded. So that's called generational stamping, and this would be second generation, obviously, that I am doing. So we're just going to load that up and put the chocolate all on it, just kind of in a random pattern. If I just shook the camera, just ignore me. This is a little getting used to, I have to admit, having the camera right here between you and me and the card. There again, this is the Twilight and our last little stamp here. And so this is a great technique because basically it just takes a real plain piece of paper and can make a nice background paper with any stamp that you have. So I like doing random stamping a whole bunch. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a little scrap piece of cardstock, and I've got a 2-inch punch here. You can see it with my big old light that I got shining down on me. And we're just going to take that, punch out a little circle, and we are going to put our little boy, as I'm flipping stamps all around here, put our little boy on. And you know, when you have a larger image, it doesn't really matter as much when you do just the words, but when you have a larger image, you're going to do better to, when you do on your ink pad, go stamp, stamp, twist, twist, stamp, stamp. Sounds kind of silly, but it's a really good thing to do just to make sure that you get full coverage with your stamp. And we're going to line up our little guy right there on our little scalloped circle. Now I'm going to close up the Twilight, but I'm going to keep the chocolate. We're going to actually close it, but then open it back up. And this is a technique that I like to do a lot. You're just going to punch your ink pad just like this. What it's going to do is it's going to put a lot of ink right there on the lid of your pad. And then this is a little sponge dauber, goes right on the tip of your finger. I can just pick up a good bit of ink here, and I can just go in and ink my edges, distress my edges. I am a big, huge inker on my edges. I think that just really finishes off a card really nicely, or a layout. It just kind of gives a finished look to the edges that you meant for it to be there. I don't know. So I am a big sponge dauber and ink etcher. So we're just going to do that along the top. So we've got those two pieces ready to go for our card. I'm going to close up our ink there, pop that over to the side, and now we're going to cut our piece of Twilight. And here's our little cutter. What we need in our dimension here is 2 1/4 by 5 1/2. So we'll cut our 2 1/4 first. And we're going to go right in here. Really should get that sponge dauber out of the way. And cut our 5 1/2. Now this is another little tool that we have. This is a dry embossing tool, and there are 2 little nibs on each end. This one's a little bigger than that one. I don't know if I can get it up to the camera. Yay, now you can see it. But basically what you're going to do is just go in, and on this one I had done a 1/4 of an inch on my sample card. This one I'm actually just going to do a 1/2 inch for you. And I'm a little bit high here. So I'm going to actually just kind of come on in here so you can see me down here a little bit better. And all you do is you take where the little well is, where your cutting blade would normally be, you're just going to take that and run it along, and it works out really, really nice. I can close it out now that we're going here. Now our cardstock, Close to My Heart's cardstock, is really nice because it has a white core center. So that can come in handy. It's not a problem when you're using cardstock. It's not anything that comes through or anything, but it is nice when you want to use it as a design element. So for instance, you wanted to distress your edges, rip them, you could get that white cardstock showing through just a little bit. And it's really nice. It gives a nice little added feature to your cardstock, which is a good thing. All right. Now that we've done that, we can get that big old honking paper cutter out of the way, which is a good thing considering the limited space I'm working with. And you can see this just actually, there's where my sponge dauber hit. Yeah, bloop, oh well. But this just gives a nice little ridge there. This is where you could also, if you wanted to, you could sand it and make that white come through but we're going to do it on the back side here, which is what we want to do. And I think it just kind of makes it look like beadboard in a nursery or something. I can see an old-fashioned house, which I think this looks really old-fashioned. So we're just going to load that up there with some glue. I am a lover of the Herma glue. I think it's great because, as you can see from my little sponge daubing accident there, I tend to make little accidents. So it's nice with the Herma, you can just, the removable, it just comes right off. So we've also got a little piece of ribbon here. This is just some chocolate ribbon with twilight and colonial white little lines on it. I've already got it cut exactly to size. So we're good to go there. We're just going to line it up right on the edge there. If I'd get in view of the camera, that would certainly help. And then we're going to grab a pop dot, take our little guy, pop it on, and that's it. We have made this really cute little card, and as I said, we've used the dry embossing, we've done generational stamping, and random stamping. So we've learned a bunch of little basic techniques, but that are really helpful and really can make your card stand out. I hope that I will see you soon. Come visit my blog again. I'll be doing more videos. Hopefully they'll get better since this is my first, but thanks so much for watching, and have a great Labor Day.